Hello and welcome to MyUltraLife. I'm on the island of Gili Trawangan and in Indonesia. And this morning I'm going to run around the island. It's about 4.5 miles. And on the way we'll talk a little bit about Gili and the fascinating place this really is. Gili Island is about 4.5 miles in diameter, and this is the only road. And in some places, it's not even a road, it's just sand. There are no cars, not even any golf carts. The only way for transportation is by horse cart, and that's the main taxi taking people to their hotel. It's the main way to get goods and services distributed around the island. So you're either gonna run, walk, ride a bike, or take a horse cart, which in Bahasa Indonesia they call a daman, but on this island they have a different name, something like chiprok or something. Pagi-pagi. Besar ikan. Wow, gede. This is the main port area. You can see they're loading up the daman, the horse carts with goods and services. If you take a fast boat from Lombok over here to the Gili Islands, this is the pier that you'll land on, and it's the only way home as well. It's a little after 7 in the morning, so it's still pretty quiet, but the street is lined with many resorts and restaurants and a few shops. It's also the slow season, end of November, and approaching the rainy season. So a lot of the restaurants are not very full at night, and the guys selling beads on the beach are pretty bored. So after being hounded several times, I finally caved in. I bought a couple necklaces. So I've gone around the southern tip. On the southern tip there's a reef, and at high tide the waves get to be about 3 or 4 feet high, and people like to go out there and surf, although I wouldn't really call this a surfing destination. It's really more of a scuba and snorkeling destination. Here on the west side you can see the beach. Even though it's probably low tide, the beach all day long is very rocky, and so there's not as much development. There is the odd occasional bar along the beach and resort, but certainly nothing like the east side. The east side is great because you can just walk out in the sand with snorkel and fins and see coral and fish and turtles and stuff immediately. And well, turtles not immediately, you gotta hunt for those a little bit, but lots of fish, lots of coral, and you know, just walk from your hotel and dive in. It's beautiful. So much more sparse, not as beautiful, but still part of Gili Island. Now this is a very nice private villa. Wouldn't be a bad place to stay now, would it? Hey, Billy Goat. Hey, Billy Goat. Are you all named Billy? So, Mike, tell us about the Gili Islands. Would you like to hear about the Gili Islands? Oh, yes, please. I'm sure some of you hate this part where I get all factual, but I like to explore and I like to learn about the places that I explore, and why not share? So, but before Gili Islands, the whole no shirt thing today, it's not I'm trying to show off or anything, it's that it's so humid and hot. It's only, a little after 7 and I'm sweating like a dog. So if I wore a shirt, it would just be drenched by the time I'm finished. So I'm nowhere near the show-off point of my physical fitness, and certainly my running isn't. I'm not in running shape right now. So, Gili Islands, made up of 3 islands off the coast of Lombok. And Lombok Island is an island next to Bali, and I'm sure most everybody's heard of Bali. But Lombok was, from the native people, always kind of a scary place. I don't know, maybe they had old stories or something. People didn't go here much. The culture of Lombok was a Muslim, and a little bit more strict form of Muslim than other parts of Indonesia. Whereas Bali is unique because it's Hindu, and only the last remaining Hindu island or area in Indonesia. So that makes it culturally unique and favorite for tourists. So even today, getting to Gili Islands is a bit remote. You can take a fast boat that started only in 2005 from Bali, but it's about a 2.5 hour boat trip, and you've got to drive an hour or 2 just to get to the place where the boat takes off. If you come through Lombok, you fly into Lombok, and then it's almost a 3-hour drive to get to the port for the Gili Islands. So Gili Islands are 3 islands in a row off the edge of Lombok. You have Gili Air, that's spelled like air, A-I-R. You have Gili Meno, not Nemo, but Meno, and Gili Trawangan. And Trawangan is the largest of the islands, and it is now the most popular for tourists. Originally, Gili Air was because it was closer, and also because they had better infrastructure. So these islands were pretty much uninhabited. There's no natural water source, and they were occupied for a short time in 1945 during the World War by the Japanese. Trawangan has a hill that's about 210 feet high, so they had a bunker and a lookout point. And off Gili Air, there was a patrol boat sunk, which is a favorite dive site today. In the 60s or so, the islands were given by the local governor to people as private land, and they set up coconut plantations and brought over prisoners from the main city of Mataram to run the coconut plantations. Well, the coconut plantations failed, the prisoners stayed, and in the 60s and 70s, this became kind of a hiking tourist hippie place. Yeah, good morning. And in the 80s and 90s became more popular as a getaway from Bali, and also known as kind of a free drug area. Hi there, good morning. I thought I was on the quiet side of the island. But so an area where you could do magic mushrooms and marijuana very freely. In fact, if you search Google Images for Gili Islands, you might see some images, signs outside establishments offering magic mushrooms. Today, I haven't noticed any signs like that, but definitely from the shadows you'll hear a whisper from a local ganja or magic mushrooms. So they're still here, just a little bit on the low down. So in the 90s and 2000s, since 2005 I think, the islands got more popular with tourists. Lots of resorts on all three islands, Trawangan being probably the most popular. The other islands a bit more quiet. But still, as I said, it's a bit of a trek to get out here, which makes it a bit exclusive and still a bit exotic and remote. And really, I mean, with the single road with the Daman horse carts, it's pretty unique and fun place to be. So that's my little history and data on the Gili Islands.
Hi, mate.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Selamat pagi.
Pagi. How are you today?
Baik.
Welcome.
USA. You remember me?
Yo.
Kapan?
Oh, come today.
Yesterday, yeah. Well, that finishes off my run around Gili Island. I've had a wonderful time looking at the island, exploring, learning about Gili. I've had an ultra-life time, and I hope you do too.